Okay, welcome to this meeting of the Finance Committee. I have apologies from Conrad Steadman and from Councillor Hall, my deputy, but I guess that also Councillor Vandevers. Early departure for Councillor Wiley at 5 o'clock, so just I move those. Seconded at Councillor Hawkins, thank you for that. All in favour? Against? That's carried. Just also look now to the confirmation of the agenda. I confirm the agenda as it's written. Any change? No. Seconded from... Standing order 1. Oh yeah, sorry, as to standing order 21.1, option C be adopted in relation to moving and seconding. Seconded by Councillor Hawkins. And all in favour? Aye. Against? Yeah, that's carried too. Thank you. I'll just remind you of your, councillors, your declaration of interest. I don't assume there's any changes between the last meeting and this meeting. No one's suddenly gone and joined any political parties? Or okay, I move that. Seconded Councillor Staines. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you. Now, Mr Winwood, would you come to the chair for item 5? The rates relief for heritage buildings. Now, would you like to speak to that, or would you just like to await questions, or it's up to you?
I'm happy to take questions, Chair.
Councillor Benson-Pope. You want to move? Seconded Councillor Hawkins. Was there any questions while we were on that? Councillor O'Malley.
There's only one. When you give rates relief and someone promises to do up a building, how do you, what if they don't?
Then they don't get the rates relief.
Do you back bill if, or?
Usually, yes, the rates are, they pay the rates and then we pay it when we're happy with progress.
Actually, I did have a question too, Dan. On page 17.8, it says the budget for the contestable fund for rates relief is in 2000 is 70,000. Previously committed allocations equal 5,194. The year's applications will total 27. Do you, are you having a carryover from previous years? I note in previous years we've given grants relief for 3 years out and that sort of thing.
No, there isn't. We don't usually carry it over if the money is not spent.
So if you allocate now for 3 years of rates relief, that all comes off the year that you grant it?
No, it usually comes off the years in future. So in that case, the existing allocations are from previous years where rates relief has been granted for 2 or 3 years, and it carries forward.
Yep. Okay. Yep. No, I get that. Thank you. Yep. No, that was all I had. So, any other questions? No. We have a move into seconder. We're in discussion. Any comments?
Well, just briefly,
Councillor Benson-Pope, may speak.
This is an excellent example of one of the quivers in one of the arrows in our quiver of support for. Sorry about the metaphor. Of support for heritage in the various challenges that heritage preservation and protection presents. You know, it's not just a building being propped up or being appropriately restored. There's also issues around change of occupancy that trigger different regulations, and fire in particular, sprinklers and the rest of it. And I think with the increase in funding that we approved in the annual plan, in the long-term plan, and this sort of work continuing the way it does, we're in a very good position. I'm delighted to see the recommendation about all of those, and I would encourage councillors to support them wholeheartedly.
Any other speakers? I'll put the motion there. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Mr Ward, come to the chair, please. Item 6, financial results. Do I have any questions? Would you like to any questions, councillors? So, obviously, I've Sorry. No, I was just concerned about the fact that we're in a deficit situation, albeit slightly supported by a positive result from the Waipori front. But, and also have a question around the CapEx, just looking like it's going to be pretty difficult to spend again. Have you got any comments on that?
So just from the operating point of view, obviously the big factor that's affecting that is the flood repairs,
Yep.
which is not something you want to really budget for on an annual basis, but unfortunately that event has certainly created a huge amount of disruption on the roading network particularly, so that's where that money's going. In terms of the CapEx, yes, we will obviously, we're still sitting way behind budget, and that's likely to continue in the next 2 months. Obviously the Peninsula project has started, so that will claw some of that back. But certainly, yeah, we're not going to spend the budget this year by any stretch of the imagination.
I guess that...
Thanks, Gav. And I'll just add to that, the bottom line of the table on page 24, as a result of the CapEx underspend, does mean that that's under where it was budgeted to be. I'm not saying that's necessarily on its own a great thing. It's a consequence of other factors, but it's relevant to take note of that as well.
Relevant to that, so that means there is a modest saving in interest, given that the debt, you know, albeit maybe even temporary.
Yeah, our interest expense is below budget, yeah.
I guess on the upside of that, we do have a slightly better cash position too, but Councillor Wilson, thank you.
Just because you mentioned the flood works, and I just, when will we have an idea of the total flood bill, considering some of those projects haven't yet been completed, or even, I think, sorted, being Sutton Bridge for one?
I'm not sure what's been reported back to the Infrastructure Committee in terms of Rich's reporting on that. He would have given you an estimate.
It's coming at the next one, but it hasn't been reported.
So he'll be able to give you a bit of indication of where it's going to end up. In terms of the Sutton Bridge, I'm not sure where that one's at, no.
Well, it's just interesting to, I mean, you talked about the flooding, but we don't, I think, yet have a final figure on that. And so, while it looks like we're behind in some things, some of it...
These are for the report for the past months. So these are the stuff that's as it's happened already. So that's...
No, I appreciate that, but I'm just trying to get in my head, as we had an annual plan, we knew what we wanted to do, we had an event, and how that affects that annual plan, and when it comes to the end of the financial year, how we'll sign those things off, or as unexpected or unexpected costs really against that. I don't know how we always do that, and appreciating that NZTA pay, I think, a substantial amount of those costs anyway.
So just maybe, if you go to page 25 in the report, there's a discussion around what we think the full year position is going to be. So in that, we talk about the operating expenditure relating to the floods being in the vicinity of $9.5 million. So that's, I'm not aware that that's changed significantly.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of just getting it completed. Some of the work that may flow over to next year, that's probably where the risk will be in terms of expenditure.
The second line there does say an additional $4 million capital expenditure will be incurred, so...
Yeah. Oh, and it's not, yeah, I'm sure it's not all of that, but it's just interesting. I mean, we often are criticised around this table or staff for not getting infrastructure work done, but sometimes it's pretty hard if you're spending the whole time catching up as well. And I just wanted to try and articulate how much of that work is about that stuff.
Any other questions about the report? Councillor Elder.
Thank you. I just wanted, I don't understand some of the money go around in the sense that if we have a big event, and when we do, is there insurance in any of this work, and do we have insurance claims or that kind of thing?
So in relation to infrastructure cover, we do have infrastructure cover for insurance purposes, but you need to have a very large event. And unfortunately, in the scheme of things, this is not an insurance purpose, this is not a large event.
Okay.
And also because we can tap into so much NZTA funding in relation to this, it does minimise the impact on us.
So how much would the NZTA be putting forward to these events,
So again, if I refer you,
fixing these events?
refer back to page 25, we talk about potentially $9 million.
Okay.
Any other questions? Happy to move. Seconder? Councillor Wiley, thank you. Any discussion? Any speakers? No? Okay, I'll put the motion. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? That's carried, thank you. Item 7, the Waipori Fund. Just you speaking to that, Dave?
Yeah, I told Richard he didn't have to come, so I try and fend any questions.
Any questions? We've got a mover. We've got a seconder. Councillor Staines? Oh. You just write down 2 names. Anyone want to speak to it? Oh, well, I thought it wasn't a bad result for the quarter.
Try and make sure they're at the table.
So I didn't catch, there were so many people willing to move, I didn't catch whether anyone wants to write a reply. Okay, I'll put the motion. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? That's carried. Now, item 8, any items for notification for the chair? I declare the meeting closed at almost a record.